scallop, scallop, scallop. Today's task is one that isn't particularly challenging, but it needs doing. You see, I have two cars here that aren't for sale, but really should be. There's no point in having cars in the yard that aren't for sale. Not for sale. These cars are for sale. Of course they are. So that's my task. Clean these two cars, put them up for sale, and then maybe I'll get time to do something interesting. Well, as you can see, the old tidy up's going well. I just don't have time. I don't have time. Barney can be the first one. Now this really is dirty, so it needs a clean anyway. And it's been around for quite a while now, this car. It's about time it had a new owner. It deserves one. It's a thoroughly pleasant little car, except for this bit. Clear your mind and observe the grot.
You're looking at the grotty car, grotty car, grotty car, grotty, grotty, grotty car. You're looking at a grotty car called Barney.
Now, of all of the tat that I've acquired from Temu, there have been two things that have worked out quite well. The first was a knife sharpener, and the second is this. Saves me having to get the jet wash out. What most people do when they've done this to their car is take a picture of it and then put it up for sale. I've never quite understood that. Look, here's my car for sale. Looks like it's covered in bird shit. Would you like to buy it? I like that bit. And bang! The wheels are clean. The dirt has gone. And so has, unfortunately, this bit of trim. It's fallen off. No matter, that just gives me the opportunity to clean behind it and stick it back on. Which, come to think of it, item number 3 from Temu that is actually useful. You may know, you will know, you might do. One of the problems with the Streetwise, and indeed the 25, is rusty front wings. And the Streetwise hides it a bit more under these covers, doesn't it? Having that thing off of there does mean it reveals the repair that's been done with fiberglass at some point. But it's actually quite a good sturdy job. However, it could do with a bit of paint on there, really. But the fiberglass is, unfortunately, covering up some of the rust, so there's only so far I can really go with it. But whilst it's off, it would be rude not to do something with it. You're only going to take a minute just to grind off that bit of surface rust there, and then bung a bit of paint on. It doesn't really matter even what colour it is, because it's been hidden by the panel anyway. I just want to help it not get worse, although it will need replacing, obviously. Car fill, and there we go, a careful but quick application of a bit of paint, in this instance the wrong colour paint, and deliberately, because, you know, why not? You can't see it, it's hidden behind a plastic cover. That's why, you know, I mean, there's no point in even bothering trying to make it look nice under there, because there's no point in making it not. Really, come on, I don't have to explain this. Washed and vacuumed on the inside. Well, we don't vacuum on the outside here. And now it's time for a little sales presentation. Hello, and welcome to a Vickers Streetwise called Barney. Now this Streetwise is a lovely example, but it's less than perfect. In fact, there's quite a few things that make it less than perfect, but it's a long way from being bad. It is silver, and as I will demonstrate quite soon, it drives like a new car. It's lovely. It's a really very nice car to drive. Cosmetically, it does have just a couple of little issues that I really should point out. And that is a crack on the bumper, a slightly wobbly headlamp, evidence of a collision with probably a cyclist, some scratches on the bonnet, a slightly misaligned window. Reminds me of a French bulldog. The window works perfectly well and it seals, it doesn't get any moisture in there. It goes all the way up and all the way down without anything untoward. Anyway, let's get really picky now, why not? It has a scratch. The Rover emblem in the middle is faded, but all 4 tyres are excellent condition tyres. Inside, of course, it is a facelift model, which means the quality isn't particularly great. In fact, it's less than great, but that's what you get with a Streetwise, unfortunately. Rover 25, nice interior. A few years later, the Streetwise, and the quality, not as good. However, it is all together in here. Well, I was going to say there's nothing missing, but, well, there is. There's a speaker cover missing, and that vent there is a bit broken. It's not as broken as they often get. I don't think the clock works either. But then we do have a genuine leather and rather nice condition steering wheel. And only 79,000 miles. Underneath the bonnet, the 1.4 K series engine is lovely. I mean, it's a bit dirty, but you know, engines often are. It's been well looked after, it's been serviced, it's had a cam belt, it's had auxiliary belts, the coolant is the correct colour, the oil is the correct colour. It is a nice little car. Just need to adjust the striker plate on that door. Better. Now at this point, I'm afraid we hit a bit of a snag. You see, I've run out of milk, and without milk I can't have a cup of tea, and without a cup of tea I can't operate properly. I start to malfunction. So I need to go and do that. Now here's the problem with needing some milk. The shop, which is Aldi, that is closest, is there. And I can't justify driving there, can I? That's just embarrassing. So I'm going to have to find a shop that's a bit further away. Streetwise, and indeed the 25 and the R3, all of the derivatives of this car drive really well. They always do. They're just such an easy car to drive. They're so... They just tick all the boxes. The only boxes they don't tick is possibly for long distance travel comfort and space, because the boot isn't massive, but it is kind of big enough. The 25 did have some improved road handling capabilities over its R3 older brother, and that was carried on to the Streetwise, and this Streetwise is absolutely superb. I mean, it really does drive fantastically. This is the kind of car for me that makes me think, why bother selling it? Keep it. But I can't keep it, can I? Because I've got a car already. In fact, I've got more than one. I've got a few. One thing that did let down the 25 ever so slightly is the brakes. The brakes are always a bit on the soft side. But on this one, somehow this has got really sharp brakes. I'm not sure what's been done to it to make that happen, but it really is better. They're a nice little car, they're very chuckable. Look at this around the roundabout there. It does grip really rather well. That's better than you'd expect it to do. The engine in this car is super. It's really smooth, it's really tight, and it just works properly. It's impressive, it's nice, it sounds as you'd expect. It just feels really together, this car. Honestly, this will be a really good car for somebody, as it was for myself and Boaty as well. Both of us have actually used this as a bit of a long-term company car. He's had it for about 2 months. I had it for a month before that, and it's just excellent. It just does the job. It's not a fast car, but it's nippy. It's quick enough. It does, you know, it keeps up with the traffic, and you don't really need a car to be faster than what this is. This is the point where I really have discovered I've gone way too far my way to go and get some milk. Now, obviously I am a Rover man, but the 25 and Streetwise really are seriously underrated. They're not just a good car, they're adorable to drive and to just live with. They're just such a happy car, and you don't get this kind of smile on your face for this kind of money with anything else. You really don't. I must have done this analogy before, but the 25 and Streetwise is just like a dog. It's a happy little thing. It's not interesting particularly, it's not clever, it doesn't do anything besides just bring you joy. And you know, if you look after it, it won't shit on the carpet. And that concludes this video, because after all, the other car is another car, and that should have a different video, and it should have a name as well. Why haven't we given this car a name?